Go again. You ready?
Yeah. Hello, Anna.
I don't know why it does this. It's so annoying.
Hello, Anna. Oh dear, what
Blow
did
that
I
up,
do?
and I'm gonna lower parts of it. Just fly them around it. What is needed to do? What do you mean?
You can leave alone.
How's he gonna manage with no weapon?
Yeah, I hit my foot.
Oh, you didn't make the black boots, huh? Are any of the other boots available yet? Like the guard boots or any of that stuff?
That's the best he can wear.
Okay. They're kind of so-so. The black boots would help out his accuracy and stuff. Luck. That would help his hit rate and crit rate. Yeah. Are you still working on making stuff?
No, I'm done. I'm going to the next
Oh, so you're not gonna make the black boots?
I'm not sure. If I did, I might have to take Shia out because you know it demands all 3 NPCs in the house.
Right. Okay. I mean, you already broke the rules by not having Rudo in the party the whole time, right? So what's the harm? You're just gonna use the laser knife the whole time. You may as well just never made anything. What?
Now these are very weak, so
Yeah. Water looks different here. Maybe it's an underwater cave.
wait, do I have
Excuse me. Everyone, as in Rudo.
Yeah,
You just see Rudo sticking gum into Nay and Rolf's mouth. Have some gum. You already tried Rudo. You said you wanted to talk?
yeah,
You wanted to talk about some stuff?
it's so interesting to mention about that. Finding that actually that side also has some fantasy stuff fan magazines as well. That was made shortly after the 4th game.
Okay, hold on. So you mentioned the book, and then you also mentioned magazines. Are they related? Are you talking about both, or just talk about one at a time?
Just one at a time.
Okay. Which one do you want to start with? Book.
Interesting to mention because for the most part,
That would make sense. I would hope.
it's supposed to have multiple endings.
Yeah, that's how a lot of 80s. There are a lot of Have you ever seen? Hold on. Take a break here. Have you ever seen Choose Your Own Adventure books? They were kind of popular in the 80s.
I've seen some.
Okay. So basically, if you remember, what they do is you'd read a segment, and then it would say, you have a choice to make, and if you want to choose this choice, go to this page. If you want to choose that choice, go to this page instead. You know what I mean? So you had multiple endings because of that kind of thing. This was a book like that. to a different page, and then it would show you a different part of the book. Now you can buy choose your own adventure book.
I'm not sure how the pages are sorted because I see name being mentioned in some of the earlier pages when you should be on the tower.
Oh, did you just scroll through it from start to finish?
Yeah.
You didn't notice any parts that said go to page whatever? Okay, it does do that? Okay, so that's what you're supposed to do. You read it, and then you get two choices. And one choice might say turn to page 30, and the other choice might say turn to page 75. You know what I mean? So you just pick which one you want to do, and then you scroll to that page, and then continue the story. If you read the whole thing from left to right, or right to left, whatever it is, you're going to read it in a weird order that doesn't make sense, because you're not making the choices that make you skip pages, right? You know what I mean by that? Okay. So that's how I would read it. If you want to read it again, pick what option you want to pick. But if you already read the whole thing, then your memory is usually pretty good. So nah, I wouldn't want to read it that badly anyway. The only reason I link that picture sometimes is because I just like the picture. I didn't even notice that was the cover for the book.
Yeah, that's the cover.
That's the picture I sent you before. Okay. I always thought it was like a music album or something, or a hint book. They used to call those stories hint books back in the day. The reason I say that is because I used to have a book for the NES version of Metal Gear, and it was a choose your own adventure book, which is pretty cool, right? But sometimes at the bottom of pages there would be actual hints for the game that were like kind of separate from the story. So it's like a hint book and a choose your own adventure book at the same time.
See how much damage Rudo does with the cannon if it's super effective.
130. I saw the number.
You see the way the element system works is actually doubles your damage if it's super effective.
Okay. That's what I was suggesting to you earlier. Just kind of go with the single target damage weapons. That'll kill a target instantly. Because if you're going to try to use a machine gun, the Vulcans, it's not going to kill enemies, and you're going to have to eat multiple hits, 1 or 2 turns before enemies start dying. I don't know if... Can you apply elements to the Vulcans?
Yes, you can.
So maybe when you get strong enough, it'd be better. But if you use it right off the bat, it probably wouldn't be. You'd have to kind of experiment. The one thing I was going to say about the Vulcans is if an enemy has more health than the Vulcan can do, it might actually be good to use Vulcan 1 or 2 turns first, and that way they're weakened enough where the single shot gun can finish them off. So there might be some value to the Vulcan. It's all going to kind of come down to how strong the enemies are, how powerful your character's getting. There's too many factors to really give you any guarantees. You just gotta experiment, see what works. I'm just trying to give you ideas. It seems like what you're doing is working. You're just using super powerful shots, which is kind of what I was thinking you should do. Use the single shots, and you might be doing better than expected because you're using the elements. You said using the elements, right? I'm sorry. Were you gonna say something? I was talking a while.
I did mention that Hugh did not appear at all in that book. He's not even in the.
Okay. Yeah, you did. You did say that. Was there more to that? I do remember you saying that. That's not the book. Yeah. Yes. I don't know. If he wasn't a popular character and they left him out of the book, I guess that is proof he wasn't a popular character? Is that the point you're trying to make?
Especially at that time.
Okay. Maybe that's true. I just kind of get fatigued from talking about popularity contests. I just don't care about that stuff. That's the only way I can describe it. It's the easiest way to describe it is just say, don't care. Okay, maybe he was popular, maybe he wasn't popular with certain groups at certain times. I don't care. You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't really know what you mean by being the defender. You mean people constantly attacking you or something? Okay. Because, like, you feel like you gotta defend something. Like it's some kind of battle or argument. It's just a game. If you like the character, that's fine. I don't think that's a problem. You know what I mean? Go. You gotta go to town and change one of them. Oh, you have 2 lightning guns, there you said. You accidentally made 2. I guess you could go back to town and change one to water, right? What are you gonna pay a small fee for that?
7,000
you don't have 7,000 set it right now. They're usually like good XP, right? Like rabbits. Usually people would just make that joke and it's like, oh yeah, rabbits think I'm sick. Yep. This might be one of those times where a Vulcan would be good because you can keep hitting multiple enemies and just gonna keep regenerating it anyway. So you might actually eventually get to the point where, by shaving them all down, you'll eventually kill multiples at once. They don't do much damage either. Although you are gonna get hit 5 times, so 25-ish damage per turn, 200 HP. So you can maybe make it for 6 or 7 turns before being in mortal danger. Trank. Oh, they have a lot of HP though. See how low their HP is now? That's like kind of the time you want to use the Vulcan. Because it's going to do like 17 next 5, randomly distributed though. So you might get 2 of them, you might get none of them. You know what I mean? It's very random. Whereas this is a guaranteed 130 damage if it hits. If it misses, it's a big whiff. So if you have a problem with missing, that's for another point where Vulcan would be helpful because you get 5 hits and you're only probably going to miss maybe 1 or 2 of them, right? So that's kind of where you got to figure out. You got to deal soon. Like probably next turn. You've lost 3/4 of your health. No, I'm just gonna go for it again, huh? Alright, you do you. Maybe I have a hard time doing these kind of stupid solo runs because I just struggle with knowing when to heal properly or whatever. Now when they split, is it a fresh one or is their HP still crap? Oh yeah, they're still. Yeah, they're still slowly dying. So even if they create more, it's not going to really make much of a difference. For them, I mean, like, their chance of winning. Because you're just spawning a duplicate that's already mortally wounded. Yeah, maybe you should make a Vulcan, or buy at least the one you can get on Zara's. Because killing one enemy at a time, when they're going to keep regenerating, this is going to harm you. Because you're never going to kill them all. You're going to keep spawning more. You know, it's going to come to the point where they're just spawning another one with 1 HP, and you only get 1 attack per turn, you know what I mean? Although, yeah, I was about to say, you could just use one of the gravity spells or something too. That would fix the problem. So once your HP gets low enough, you could just swing out the item monkey. Yeah, Zan would work. Anything, really. Yeah, that's his old shotgun. Yeah, double knife might be better. You're at least hitting 2 enemies per turn. Weird learning curve. He's just supposed to do, like, his thing. And every time a character's forced to solo, you have to completely change the strategy to whatever the game is going to force you to do to stay alive. Which is annoying. No, he's not frail, but in a fight like this, you're getting hit multiple times over and over again, and you can only kill 1 enemy per turn, and they keep regenerating. So you're losing a shit ton of health, and you're wasting a ton of items. Hugh could have killed all these guys a long time ago, right? But in the battles where you're fighting like the dragons or something, Rudo might do a little better. It's all kind of based on character strength. These are times where Hugh would be better, and there's times where Rudo would be better. I guess playing solo will accentuate those things and make it easier for people to understand, I guess. I think I'm intelligent enough to understand without doing that. Yeah, that's what I was. That's literally exactly what I just said. I just used a lot more words than you did. What dungeon are you in?
I'm in the dungeon that Nate would die
Oh, okay. I was curious how far you were. I was like, it's still Biomonster, so you're still in like the first half of the game. Level 34, yeah. Oh yeah, that's right, you're going through the water at the beginning. Just trying to remember what's happening. Fire. So you just mostly been doing the game stuff lately? This and your PlayStation game. Been kind of quiet the last few weeks. I've been kind of into some other stuff and busy with a few other things too. My cousin, my aunt's daughter, was visiting last weekend, so I wasn't around too much. I was talking with them a lot, and we went out a couple times. And then getting ready for the trip too, so it's been kind of quiet for me. I haven't been on the computer very much, or as much as usual, I should say. You're probably not too worried about that. Who?
The minute Hugh says anything, the rest of the party just want to send him home.
In what?
Fan call, a lot of these are fan call mixed in those magazines that
And comics don't mean anything. That's just an agenda being pushed because those fan comics are being selected by the editorial team, right? You have to think about the deeper meaning. Someone selected those comics to try and push a message, right? So whoever was in charge of those magazines didn't like him, so they purposely supported people that thought the same way they did, and then didn't. There might have been fan comics that supported Hugh, and then the editors just didn't choose them. You know what I mean? You don't know because, and you'll never know because they weren't chosen.
No, I was saying even the art book said implied that they got a lot of complaint about him. The creator said that they got a lot of complaint about this character.
Yeah. They're just remembering what they saw. And that might have been controlled by a gatekeeper, you know what I mean? Back in the day, there were a lot more gatekeepers. Now that we have the internet, you can see everyone's opinion a lot more easily by looking around, right? But back in the day, a bunch of fans would send a letter or something, and whoever was in charge would pick which letters everyone else got to see, right? That's how it worked back then. So imagine like a forum where you tried to post something and the moderator had to approve whether you were allowed to post that or not. That's what a magazine was back then.
Yeah, but then that clash where they say that everyone wants to play as Cain and Anna, but those also are screaming about how you should try them.
Okay, hold on. Can you repeat that slower?
I think the developer said at the time that hardly anyone wants to use Cain and Anna, but then there's those fanbook that keeps trying to defend them and say you should absolutely try them out.
Okay. So you're saying the fan book told people to try Cain and Anna,
Yeah.
and a lot of people weren't too interested. Well, like I said, my initial impression of what people's habits would most likely be. You remember me saying this probably 300 times by now, it's probably getting old, but most people are just going to stick with Rudo and Amy because those are the first characters, and they already leveled them. They don't want to start a new character that's level 1, right? I don't know. Probably because she's the newest character at the time.
And also because of her appealing character.
You can say that, but the characters are supposed to be subjective. But I don't know. People are weird. At different times and eras and genres, people tend to either get way too influenced by the crowd, or you occasionally get people that... Huh?
Scott was number 4 in the character popularity for everyone from the first 2 games.
Everyone first.
1, 2, 3.
They're just like picking a new character, I guess, because she's new. That's the other thing you gotta think about too, like when the poll was released. If they released the poll when Sher was brand new and hyped up, she would have obviously gotten a high place.
It's just before 4 came out.
Yeah, so they probably showed off like artwork of her and stuff, and everyone's like, I like this girl. She's sassy and blonde, or whatever feels of the time were. Alright, we already know how history went, right? Nay was the most popular female in that game, hands down. Yeah. You said, oh, so Nay was number 1 in that same poll?
Yes.
So the old characters probably had no chances with all the... Wait a minute. You said it was first 3 games. Okay, their 2 characters are winning. So this poll came out after Phantasy Star 2 had already been out a while. Okay. I thought you were saying it was a poll from the Phantasy Star 2's time. 3 wasn't a very good game though. A lot of people didn't like it.
One character appeared in it of the robot guy.
Well, Ren, yeah. And lo and behold, he showed up again in 4, right?
Yeah.
Although, some people are not sure it's the same Ren. A lot of people made the, theory that it's from a series of robots that all look the same. You know what I mean? Kind of like Robo and Chrono Trigger. But anyway, viewers thought Ben looked cool at the time, I guess. And meanwhile, everyone is still attached to their old favorite character. That's the other thing too, like, there's so many questions to ask about whatever that fucking poll is supposed to be. Was Phantasy Star 3 out yet, or coming out soon? Just before the 4th game came out. Okay, so I guess that kind of proves that Phantasy Star 2 was the most popular of the 3 before 4 came out. And 4 probably changed that. Because I think a lot of people have good memories of 4, and 4 ended up being very popular. 3 kind of had its problems. 1 was kind of niche, right? You know, I think 1's a good game, but I think a lot of people missed it because it was the first one, right? Hold on. What'd you say?
2 characters from the first game did appear on the top 5 poll.
Okay, so... Alright, hold on. So, that means 2 from 1, 2 from 2, and 1 from 3 are in the top 5? Okay. Just trying to make sure I'm following along with this crazy ass story.
No, how can you do this?
Can you do what?
This.
Oh, I think you said, can he do this? Oh, you were saying how can you do this? That's your usual. I don't even know what to call it. Your angry grunt or howl or whatever you want to call it. How can you do this? That's like your little thing that you like to say. Your misses. Why'd you do this to me? I maxed you out and you're still doing this. Random probability, unfortunately. No matter how much you level them, they're still gonna miss sometimes. But you can probably see how doing a single heavy hit is probably more effective than using a light splash damage, right? It's like, okay, turn 1, I insta-kill a guy. Next turn I get hit by 3. Turn 2, I insta-kill a guy. I only get hit by 2. Turn 3, I insta-kill a guy. I only get hit by 1. Whereas if you're using the Vulcan, like, I'm probably not going to kill anyone turn 1, so I take 4 hits. I might kill 1 turn 2, but I may not. So I'm going to take 3 or 4 hits on turn 2. Whereas if you're using a single weapon, unless you missed, you're probably only taking 2 hits by the end of turn 3. You know what I mean by that? How many times you're getting hit by enemies. That's kind of what it comes down to. That's why Vulcans are great in a party with a lot of splash damage. So if you're like using Item Monkey and Anna, and probably wipe out an entire enemy party in 2 turns, sometimes even 1 turn. I mean, how far along you are. Looks like a lot to me. I would be at least 15 of them. On this what?
Top floor right now.
Oh, yeah. Go after the most dangerous enemy first. You're gonna rely on that. How many hits would it take for him to kill with a gun? 2 or 3? I would figure that out. If it only takes 2, I would go with the gun. Because the chance of the claw and killing is only like 50, right? Yeah, just use the gun then. It's the same thing as the claw, except the claw is a lower hit rate, right?
Yeah, but at the time I was in the island, the first time I saw it, I don't have a fire charge gun yet.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, so it's probably a good idea back then.
The problem is sometimes you see a character with a lot of shifted, but they are not actually, they actually don't have a lot of fans in reality.
I'm sure they all do. You just see what you see in the form of public opinion or whatever you want to call it. Just, I don't know. I just kind of get tired of the whole popularity contest type stuff.
That's why when a character score low, it means they might not appear, they might get kicked out of certain work.
People just get too heavily influenced by popular opinion, right? You know what I mean by that?
As I said,
It's like, this is like an...
getting booted out completely.
Yeah, but this is like a whole... This is like a whole old thing that people used to say. It's just like, if all your friends were jumping off a cliff, would you jump off a cliff too? It's like an old joke that people used to say. You know what I mean? Like, are you just gonna do what everybody else is doing because that's what's popular? Even though it's clearly a bad idea or clearly not true.
Why Big the Cat was retired.
But I mean, if we look back and try to analyze that more heavily, it's not like Big the Cat was the most popular character, right? He probably was indeed the least popular character. Even if he did have some fans, and it seemed like he didn't have many or any at the time. He probably had more than people thought he did, but he still wasn't that popular, right? Are you gonna try to say like Big the Cat was the most popular character in that game?
No.
I don't think so. They advertised what?
The Phantasy Star remake was made on the PS3 guy that
They might have made more party members?
cut one party member.
I don't know. If they remade the game, you think they would get rid of a character?
At the time, they realized nowadays kind of heavily found.
At what time?
The PS3.
I don't think they would have. That's my opinion. There's no proof though, so you can believe what you want. I think people have always been pretty purist about remakes, even back then.
You know that Sega used to advertise the cartoon character with the selling point for Sonic back in the 2000s.
What character did they cut back then?
Anyone that isn't Sonic.
Okay. It's not like a character has to show up again. If the main character is Sonic and the other characters are guest characters, you're talking about like Big and Amy, and you can look at like Sonic Heroes, right? How the Chaotix showed up. They don't have to show up in every single game afterwards. They can come and go, right?
Yeah, but they're never gonna ever put them in any role beyond very minor role. Was what they were advertising forever at the time.
Advertising. Where did you see this ad?
This was how Sonic 4 was advertised.
Of Sonic what?
Sonic 4.
4? That was just supposed to be like a reimagining of the old games, right?
No, yeah, but this is considered a good selling point for all Sonic games for this decade.
Does it actually say that on the store page of Steam or something? That was on Steam, right? Sonic 4?
Definitely say it all in the trailers. The selling point only Sonic gets to show up.
What is it they said exactly?
They said that they cut every single useless filler character until only Sonic is left.
That does not sound like an ad stuff.
That is their selling point.
What? I gotta know. I gotta see for myself. Sonic 4. Sonic Hedgehog 4, Episode 1. Is that what you're talking about? There are no videos on Steam. They're on YouTube then. Sonic the Hedgehog 4 and Sonic the Hedgehog 4 DMAX. Is it the gameplay trailer? Was it a commercial? On TV? Commercials collection? These are all the old games. Sonic Rush, Sonic Riders, 2006, Secret Rings, All Stars Racing, Generation, Forces, Sonic Olympic Games, Sonic Frontier, Sonic 4 in here. You have to find it for me at some point. I'm just not able to find it so far.
During that period, most songs are parody, so they just claim everything in that point must be a parody, but this character isn't.
Sonic the Hedgehog 4 video game. Long play. And now it's gonna get play. Sonic the Hedgehog. Oh, here's a launch trailer. This might work. Comic Mischief. 1991, 92, 4. Yeah, just showing all the old games clipped.
They really
In 2010, the adventure continues. Yeah, it doesn't mention anything about characters. So that's probably not the idea you're talking about. What happened?
Got out of the dungeon.
Oh, yeah. Time to go. Yeah, I can't find what you're talking about. Just back to watching. Yeah, instead of finding the example, you just repeating like I said, I don't really care enough to make us think about it. People can believe what they want. They're gonna believe whatever they want. No point even discussing it. Because they're just gonna not care about your opinion. How does it not affect the work? You're saying characters got removed because of people's opinion. What? Oh, it does. I don't feel like characters get removed because of unpopular opinion. A lot of them are just guest characters. If Big the Cat is your example, like, no one liked him anyway, right? Not that many people like him. Not enough to warrant making his own game or having him show up again. Even if he had some fans. I think most people that wanted to play Sonic didn't want to play a fishing game. You have to think about the real reasons why people didn't like Big the Cat. It wasn't because he was a big fat goofy guy looking for a frog, it's because people didn't want to play a fishing game, they wanted to play a Sonic game. A lot of them were just like a one and done story character. Like, Gamma was probably one of the better games in Sonic Adventure, right? Did you play Sonic Adventure? First one? You remember Gamma? Well, like, what I was gonna say about Gamma is that he essentially dies at the end of the story. Just turns back into like one of them little animals, right? So like, he's not gonna come back. They kind of tried to bring him back by making Omega, which is a different character, and he wasn't as popular.
Other supporting friends that show up during the entirety of the PS2 and DS era, and specifically the 2010, all of them got wiped out to next to nothing. Because
they're just kind of going back to the roots of the game, right? Just the main captain.
Yeah, yeah, they only want the Genesis characters. But the way they treat the Genesis characters is also kind of weird. Because they are very snarky and keep referencing how bad the 2000 was.
Oh boy. Yeah, you just have your own mentality about it, and
Well, this is something every Sonic fan like the 2000 version.
every Sonic fan, I guess. That's why Sonic is not popular anymore. All the old fans jumped ship, and all the new fans took over and just ruined it. I guess I don't know. Something like that. And then probably not even considered the new fans anymore because they were the fans of that era, which was 10, 15 years ago, whatever the fuck it was. We're arguing. I don't even want to argue about it. We're arguing about something that's 15, 20 years old. It's stupid.
If you didn't know, a lot of major 2010 work are very amazing, like that snarky.
I don't know. You just seem to hate works from a certain era, and that's no point talking about it. I'm not even a huge fan of a lot of the ones you're complaining about. Like, I'm not really trying to defend them.
You sometimes see it that something like Fire Emblem Engage. That's very normal as 5 years ago.
Okay, well. Like I said, I wasn't a huge fan of the games before it either. Like, if we're gonna compare Engage to Three Houses, right? That's like a 5-6 year difference, right? What's that? I wasn't a huge fan of Three Houses either. The old games are way better than Three Houses. And maybe that's why it was tolerable to me? I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out my own thoughts on it. I'm not thinking about
fans when making that game.
They're trying to what? No, it didn't quite work. It like worked in some ways, but not really all the way. You know what I mean by that? It appeals in some ways, but not others. I just get tired about these stupid arguments. You like it or don't like it, that's fine. If I don't like it or like it, that's fine. We don't have to both think the same way. We don't have to try to convince each other. We don't have to try to convince the rest of the world that they're wrong or right. So, completely lost cause, waste of time endeavor that's never going to succeed. You can't convince millions of people that disagree with you that they're wrong. It's just not a thing. You can yell and scream at the sky all day long and they still won't care about your opinion. You know what I mean?
It's very hard to tell whether the character is inherently the problem or is it just a base thing.
Just look at what the crowd says, and that's pretty much what the opinion of the character is. Okay?
Pokemon, I agree with everyone who hates this guy.
Okay, well, I guess that's a good thing, right? At least you're on the same side as others for once. Being the only person that disagrees. You don't want to be the only person that disagrees. That is awkward, right? At least if you're in agreement with a group, then it's not as bad.
But then you bring up Hugh, I don't know whether he's like on par with Trip or is he like get chick from Lovina instead.
There's no way to know that stuff. The only way you could try to figure that out is by talking to people that know who all three are and ask people what they think. Comparing those three, right? So you're gonna have to find a little group of people that play Phantasy Star 2, watch Pokemon and watch Love Hina, and then ask their opinions on all three characters and how they compare with each other. And then by collecting a bunch of data from all these different people that you talk to, you can maybe get an idea of who fared better in their own worlds. Right? It's kind of complicated by that point. You're really thinking pretty hard on that by then. Because that's a lot of stuff to process.
Well,
and a lot of work
about
into
the
it.
Lapina is I know that she's not really universally hated because there are plenty who would anything that bashes her would immediately get a lot of review. A lot of these reviewers what they have conflicting opinion whether she deserves such treatment or does she not.
I don't know. You're just like getting way into the deep stuff that I don't have the energy for. You know what I mean?
It's impossible to bring up Hugh without being reminded.
I don't want to read 80 million people's opinions to figure out if I'm going to change my mind or not. It's a waste of my time.
Yeah, but let's say it's very hard to bring up Hugh without being reminded it's trash.
Well, I guess that means you are in the minority as far as Hugh is concerned. But you are not the only person in that camp. I think you figured out at least that much by now, right? You have seen some Hugh fans out there, right? You see people saying he's quite good for his acid rain and all that kind of shit. And then you've also seen the devs themselves make his own visual novel thing, and then Han story being inspired by him and all that.
Probably usually all 7 characters. The one getting pretty jarring if any of them are missing.
What are you talking about now?
The text adventure, if any of the characters missing for that, would be even more
What do you mean?
questionable.
What do you mean if they're missing? What do you mean by missing?
You don't even you just do like 7 characters and then just quit.
What?
If you do that novel which claims that you're gonna feature all of the entire party and you just leave one of them behind, I think that you're gonna kick up a lot of fuss. As far as advertisement.
I guess, but you're saying there'd be a backlash if it didn't feature every character, right?
Yeah.
Even though it's pretty secondary material that most fans overseas didn't even know about until many years later. But if you're gonna stick purely with the Japanese fan base for those text adventurers, I guess I can agree with you on that.
Japanese fan always matter more.
Well, yeah, that's just because the games were made in Japan, right? So that's their core audience. Honestly, for the longest time, like probably right up until the 2000s, the American audience was the secondary audience.
During the PS3 and PS4 era,
Especially if you think about anime.
one.
I remember going to anime convention panels where guy that ran ADV Films at the time would say basically you go into a bidding war with other companies to get the English rights to an anime to translate it. Yeah, so you've already lost interest. You just kind of focus on your game. It's fine.
I know, I think I'm gonna stop.
I'm losing my train of thought anyway.